Yes, to talk about international politics. We know that by November, in a few months' time, we're going to have the American elections. So there's a whole lot that has been changing in the last few weeks. The emergence of a female, a woman, in the democratic process. The primaries have not yet held, but everyone is pointing at Kamala Harris as the person who would fly the flag of the Democrats in the forthcoming elections. It does look like the Republicans really do not have a response for the emergence of Kamala, purportedly, and then the vice, who is Tim Walz, who has also emerged, the vice for Kamala Harris. Well, joining us to talk about this development is former diplomatic correspondent, Star Communications, Mr. Vin Martins. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so Kamala Harris, before now the Democrats have produced a presidential candidate that is a female in person of Hillary Clinton. What do you think Kamala Harris has to bring to the table for the Democrats?
Well, the Democrats, this is not the first time a woman is flying their flag. Actually, a lot of people thought that a lot of people had put a lot of hope in Hillary when she emerged.
Yes.
And if you remember the refrain then, she broke the glass ceiling. And they thought he will even break the cloud ceiling by becoming the first female president of the United States of America. Mm-hmm. So it's something that has happened before, but these are very peculiar circumstances. These are very peculiar circumstances because here, for the first time in so many years, in recent history, the first time was in about 1952 when Harry Truman, who was the vice president to FDR. When FDR died, he became president. Served out that term and then ran for election. And if you know about that election, it was one of the tightest elections in American history. So actually, when Harry Truman went to bed that night, the night of the election, he thought he had lost the election. But he was woken up in the morning by, "Good morning, Mr. President."
And what a nice morning.
And he was like, "How come? What happened?" So it was one of the tightest. So then he was there for 4 years. But he now wanted to run for another full term. But everything just didn't go well. So about 52 or thereabout, he had to quit. That was the first time. Then the other time it happened was if you remember, in 1960, JFK became president and was killed in 63 November, I think November 23 or 22, or thereabout. So L.B. Johnson, LBJ, that's what he was called, became president because he was vice president.
Yes.
So, and then he served out and ran for his own election, I think in 64 or thereabouts, and was president till about 68, 67, 68, when he was now trying to run for a full term. And then there was so much trouble, especially the Vietnam War, which had become so unpopular. So that dragged down Johnson. So he quit like Biden did.
Okay.
So you look at 52, 68, and then from 68 until now, before we now have this kind of challenge. And then that's how we have Kamala
Okay.
It wasn't like from day one
Yes.
she was going to be, but don't also forget that she had run for president 4 years ago.
Yes, independent, not from...
No. As a Democratic.
That's what I'm saying, independent of
Yes, it was
Biden.
actually based on her performance and what have you. That was why Biden chose her.
Yes.
And they had known each other before then, so, but in this one, she was not a candidate. She was on the ticket with Biden.
Yes.
And then here now, what happened. So here she is.
But how are the dynamics changing? I mean, we've seen recently the issue of the assassination attempt on the Trump. And then a whole lot of persons after that, started saying that they're going to go vote for him. I mean, this is, in fact, it was more like an issue that came up as an advantage for Trump. But in the last few weeks, it does seem like the tide is a little bit changing because of the fact that the president, Joe Biden, has stepped down, and then Kamala Harris has actually emerged. And now she has picked governor of Minnesota to become his vice. How is the dynamics changing? And in the run-up to this November election, how do you think Americans will vote?
Well, it is tough. It's not going to be easy. But I think the Biden withdrawal and the emergence of Kamala Harris is a breath of fresh air for the Democrats.
Yes.
Because they were going down. And no matter what they did, they had this baggage. Not that Biden had not been a good president. Not that Biden had not carried their flag well. But there was this big issue, age and health and memory. It was something the Americans could not handle. Yeah. And it's funny, because if you go back to 1980, or before 1980, Reagan, when Reagan was running to be president, it was like, oh my God, this is a very old man. And he was about 68. Or less. So yes. For Americans at that age, you were already too old. So here was a president that was already 82 by then. So that was a big problem. And Trump mined it to his advantage.
Talking about Trump, you are a foreign affairs and international relation expert.
Yeah.
Trump is known to be dramatic. Sometimes he allows you to play and, display. What do you think that Donald Trump, or the Republicans have up their sleeve? Because they've seen this. They've seen Kamala Harris and what the Democrats are playing. What do you think, or would you predict will be the counter?
No, I don't want to do any prediction, but I'm going to do the analysis.
Yes.
Because it's still a long journey.
Yes, still November.
It's a long journey. It's a long journey, and this election, nobody will be sure until the last minute.
Basically.
True.
So, but I was actually laying some background based on what Charles had asked about what the big issue was at that point, the man's age. So, what's his name? Trump was using it to his advantage. And Trump, he just stays on 1 or 3 issues and just keeps throwing it back. Even if you ask him, somebody just died yesterday, he goes back, immigration, it's nonsense, it's this and this. So, over these many months and even years, the Republicans had prepared for a run against Biden.
So you didn't think they expected Kamala to...
Nobody expected Kamala. And you didn't expect Kamala until after the debate. And it was evident that this man cannot do another couple of years as president. So it came as a surprise. So the biggest challenge they have now is to move their arsenal towards Kamala. And the arsenal has to be a little different. But for a Trump, he's fixated on what he wants to do. I'm sure he must have given one line name to Kamala because the other ones were crooked Hillary, crooked Biden. I don't know what adjective
he will
use for. So it's a tough thing for them. And when you ask me, how are they going about it? They're strategizing. But you know, all the baggage that they had against Biden is not working. This young woman is young, 59. I think 59, yeah. Yes. 59. Former senator, former attorney general, former prosecutor. She's a woman. She's black. So it's just a big problem. So they started with, is it DIU or, you know, what that I'm trying to get the proper this thing is that maybe this lady is not qualified. The only reason she's gotten where she is because she's black, she's a woman. And they think it was going to be to their advantage, but they're getting a lot of bashing for even saying that. Then Trump in his drama said, well, he didn't know whether the woman was black or whether she was Indian or that she used to be black. Now she has changed to, she used to be Indian. Now she's changed to black. And then they got a lot of, you know, backlash again. You know, so they're just, I don't want to use, you know, a drowning man who clings on everything. He's not drowning yet, but there's a big challenge. They are seeing numbers are changing.
Indices, yeah.
The numbers are changing. More people, you know, about time that Biden left, a lot of Republicans, a lot of Democrats refused to give money. But immediately, I think the first night after that change, they got $200 million in contributions for her funds are coming up.
So would you actually say that Americans vote with their emotions?
Well, like in any other place, some vote with emotions, some vote with patriotism, some vote with other considerations. You know, the problem that those that are against Trump have is that there's this population in America. If you like, let them catch Trump stealing meat from somebody's pot, they're still going to vote for him. You know, it's like a lot of researchers and scholars are studying to know what exactly is the problem.
Is it about the white supremacist thing there?
Well, they have not said, he has never said he's white supremacist, but almost everything he does points in that direction. So you have this group that will follow the man anywhere. So if you talk about emotion, maybe they will say those people are emotional or sentimental.
Okay.
I don't know which other word to really describe it, but they will follow him anywhere.
Loyal?
Very loyal supporters and admirers and all that. Okay? So there are those that will vote because they think that Trump is a threat not only to American democracy, but to democracy all over the world. There are some people that think so. There are some other people who think that Trump is the man that is the liberator of the United States, that agree with him 100% that America will be great again. Mm-hmm. Then there are some that are saying, if 4 years of Trump was how America was going to be great, let's not be great at all. You know. And then this woman is coming with a new message. It says the election is about two issues, the future and the past. And she's staying on that message that Trump is part of the past. And what is the underlying reason for that? Just before Biden quit, there were a good population of Americans who said, we want neither Biden nor Trump. Not, I mean, this, for them it was like 20 two
Right.
two evils or
Yes.
whatever, and that we don't have a lesser evil in this
Evil.
one, or a lesser devil, or a lesser challenge. So a lot of those people are now going for Harris. Because remember, the two, they didn't want the two. One is still remaining, one has gone. And there's this breath of fresh air from this woman. And a lot of people are now getting to know Kamala. Because before now, you know, when you're vice president in America, you're actually not actually the bomb. Nobody's really interested in what you do.
Yeah.
Even though you're going to be president if the other person died, but everybody thinks that this president would live through their tenure and what have you. It's only when there's a challenge. So they don't really, but now they are paying more attention. For some, they are seeing her new weaknesses. For a lot, they are seeing her strengths. They didn't know she could hold a crowd, she could be this, she has this level of oratory, and she could send her, and then taking it from the man he's replacing, who age had affected, that he couldn't actually send his message. They're seeing a fresh leadership, in Kamala Harris.
Okay, the fact that she's of the opinion that illegal immigrants, you know, where she's trying to give them for them to be eligible for government health care. Other core Americans might disagree with that fact. You know, I believe she was doing that, trying not to discriminate, you know, on border crossings. However, she wanted immigrants who were in the country illegally to have access to government health care. Does that sound like a disadvantaged position for her?
No, but Trump has made immigration a very big issue in this election, in this campaign. And even before Kamala became the aspirant, because she's just a presumed candidate, even though she has everything in her bag. But that crowning has to take place on the 17th. Yeah, I think on the 17th of this. So until that happens, we can't actually call her the Democratic candidate. But she is the presumed, based on every indices. So before she became that, before Biden even quit, you saw Trump and his team making Kamala an issue, because for them, they claim she's the one that Biden had moved the immigration thing to handle. So for Trump, immigration is a big challenge. We've heard him say that they bring rapists, they bring mentally deranged, but you know, one thing about Trump is that he makes these claims and without evidence. They've asked him, give us evidence. Statistics that these people were taken from hospitals, mental hospitals and what have you. And then he's also, you know, eating or buying into the emotions of Americans, especially Americans who are unable to get jobs. So they believe that immigration is also making it possible for them not to have jobs, because these immigrants are providing cheap labor. And it's not just in America. In Britain, in the United Kingdom today, you see ongoing demonstrations about it. So Trump is buying into that. Then you've seen stories of immigrants, maybe they raped or were involved in armed robbery or whatever. They are playing to that. So it's a big issue. But Kamala and the Democratic Party think that, yes, immigration is a big issue, but we should do it a different way. We wouldn't do it like Trump, who is giving the impression that if he becomes president, he would, if he meets heading all of them into one ship and, or putting everybody in a plane and taking them out of the country. Kamala and her group are saying, we can do, yes, immigration is a problem, but can we do it this other way? Can we do it legally? Can we do it in a way that America is a country of immigrants?
We're out of time. We're out of time, really. I'm looking forward to how the elections will play out, specifically as it concerns the debate. I'm looking forward to Kamala versus Trump debates. That will be very interesting.
Yes, very interesting. And we are hoping that for the first time, Trump will look for other reasons and not just. Did you watch him?
Stutter.
Did you watch him go to the Association of Black American Journalists?
Yes. That's where he was trying to do the comparison between whether Kamala was black or whether she's Indian.
If you watched it, you see that they tried to bring. He goes back to what he's saying. You try to move it, he goes back. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's why I love America. This whole thing is bringing a new excitement.
True.
You know, it's going to be tough.
It is.
I've said it before. With Biden, I said it. To defeat Trump is going to be difficult.
It is.
So it's hard work. And also to defeat Kamala is going to be difficult.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be, how do those in sports say it? You hold your breath.
It's fight to
the last minutes, the last seconds.
All right.
Thank
We're
you
headed
so
for
much.
a short break. When we return, we would switch gears to another very important discourse. Do stay with us.